Hey everybody, it's Shireen Vishmaya coming to you for a quick December 2020 forecast update. I can't believe it's the last month of the year already. So I'm going to keep this short and sweet, and I'll make a longer video later, but I just felt I should check in because we just had this mega eclipse on top of epic events back to back basically since last December when we had the intense configurations that started this whole situation with the eclipses that happened last December. Actually, my guru today was just reminding us about that, and I'm in India with the Hugging Saint, Amma, for those of you who might be new to my channel. And she was just reminding us how it was written in the stars basically, and that they had actually put a notice up about the astrology and how it could bring some pretty stressful, to say the least, that's the understatement of the year, times to us in 2020. So those eclipses we had in December were no joke. And now we're back into part 2, December 2020 eclipse season. So we've got a big one. We just had one verging, it was the last day of November, this lunar eclipse that we're just coming off of now, we're just coming down from, which turned out to be more auspicious in a lot of ways than we might have expected, I think, so far. I mean, we'll probably see some of the more detrimental effects down the line, but it's been interesting to notice the blessings, the hidden blessings, and eclipses often have that. I mean, we always talk about the unpredictability of eclipses and the formidable, often the travesty that the eclipses can bring, which is definitely no joke and true, but they often illuminate and open up our awareness. That's the key. So eclipses have a tendency to break us open, reveal shadow that we haven't seen before. And earlier today I had a wonderful conversation with one of my early mentors from the 90s in New York City. She's the trauma mama, Lori Schwartz. I'll post that clip on my channel as well. You should check it out. We did a real quick conversation. We'll do a longer interview. She's actually one of the speakers I'm going to be featuring in. Okay, and so I'm so excited to share this with you guys. I'm in the midst of a dream project, something that's been brewing in the back of my mind probably for many months now. And just, you know how those things are, it's like bigger than you, and I mean, these things are always bigger than us, really, if it's coming through, right? It's everything is beyond us, really. And I kept thinking, I want to figure out a way to bring together, you know, I have an Aquarius North Node, so I'm always thinking like this: how can I bring together all these amazing mentors, teachers, guides, people that have inspired me, people that still inspire me, get them all in one place to talk about this crazy year that we just had and how to navigate the transition going into the unknown of 2021. Because, okay, we've survived, hopefully, to the best, we're all in different places now, but it's been a huge awakening, a big spiritual awakening for everyone. And so wherever we find ourselves at the end of 2020, we're still having to navigate how to transition into 2021. And we've got this very potent configuration happening that we haven't had in hundreds of years, with Jupiter and Pluto shifting elements and joining up together in the sign of air. So that's in Aquarius, in tropical astrology. The Jupiter-Pluto conjunction in any, whichever zodiac you use, they're joining up on the solstice. That's extremely powerful, and you know, these things are never accidents. Why on the winter solstice do these planets, or the summer solstice, depending on where you are, but on the solstice point, these planets are converging. That in itself is quite profound, and we know there's a big story about to unfold as a result. Of course, it's never like just that day we're going to see the big effects, but it's, as all these powerful planetary configurations are, it's a big portal. It's opening our consciousness. It's leading us into a new story. And oh, I hear the budgeons going on, so I'm going to wrap this up and come back. But anyway, I kind of Gemini moon here today. I've a little bit scattered, so let me just collect the pieces and come back to you. But basically, so a couple of things I want to talk about. So the event is December 18th to the 20th. It's Aquarius Rising Reimagined, bringing together astrology, music, mysticism, healing arts, everything from tantra to sound healing to trauma work to breath work to both Western and Vedic astrology and dream analysis. I mean, it's an incredible lineup. Ritual, it's everything that I love. And tarot, my tarot mentor, Katie Noura in Egypt. She lives right on the pyramid. She's going to be joining us. So it's an incredible lineup. So we're really excited. We're launching this Thursday, so keep your eye out for that. And you can get on the early access list. I'll post it underneath this video. But okay, so let's get in quickly to the December forecast. So the big thing is we're in between eclipses now. We just had the full moon solar eclipse in Gemini. So wherever you have Gemini in your chart, you just had that blown wide open. So we're all changing our narrative. We're all looking at the stories we tell ourselves. We're all looking at the duality. And we're all having to make new choices. You know, it's a big upgrade in the way we choose, how we think, and the words we choose to use. So there's always a little bit of trickery, deception, duality. And wherever we have Gemini is always a little bit of our trickster side where we might be playing with the truth. So we need to look at where that shadow energy comes in, where the duality comes in, and where we might be spinning things a little bit or finding clever ways to manipulate words for better or worse. You know, sometimes we do it in a way to really convey a message that's important, and sometimes we do it in a way that's perhaps manipulative. So we want to look at that, and we can manipulate ourselves with stories we tell ourselves. That's the Gemini predicament sometimes. And the positive side of Gemini, of course, is catching all of those pieces of information that we, you know, being the good researcher and compiling the details and the facts and the figures and putting the pieces together in a way that we can convey the information and teach it well and learn it well. And of course, Gemini is also very connected to mantras and chanting and the power of the word, the power of the spoken word and the written word. So we're thinking about all of those things, and depending on where Gemini falls in your chart, that was just illuminated. And that's setting us up for the Sagittarius new moon solar eclipse on the 14th. And during that eclipse, it's all the planets are trapped in what in Vedic astrology is called the Kalasarpa Yoga. So it's again a very intense time where we don't feel at our full strength, we don't feel at our full power, we feel kind of bound and trapped, hemmed in between these shadow energies of the North and South Node, or Rahu and Ketu. So we're all feeling really in the grips of having to do the deep shadow work. There's no way around it. There's no way to escape it. I mean, if you found a way to escape it in 2020, you're really clever. You got a big Netflix marathon that never ends. I don't know how. I mean, there's not a lot of ways to escape ourselves in 2020, or maybe that was a Freudian slip. Probably 2021, it's going to be even harder to escape ourselves. I wouldn't be surprised. So here we are on Mars Day, as I'm babbling on here in several different directions. Okay, let's tie this together. So going back, so we've got the eclipse on the 14th, the new moon solar eclipse in Sagittarius. Look to where you have 23 degrees Sagittarius in your tropical chart. In Vedic astrology, it's in the nakshatra of Jyeshta. So if you work with Vedic astrology, look to where you have, if you have any planets in Jyeshta, which is the Scorpio in sidereal, that's the impact for the Vedic system. So in any case, it's a time when we're really having to look at our relationship to, as you can see, it's the other side of the shadow, what we believe, our emotional vulnerabilities, and what we consider the truth, and how we're going to move forward with our beliefs, basically, like how we're going to, you know, sometimes things we believe in get eclipsed, and then we think, oh, okay, this isn't quite what it seems. And there's going to be a lot of that, like a lot of things revealed during that next eclipse, and I'll make a proper video about that eclipse. But right after that eclipse is the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction. And we also have a lot of energy with Eris happening, which we are going to talk about on a podcast, how powerful Eris is in December. So I'll save it for the podcast. But Eris is the goddess of discordia. She does not like to be excluded. So again, anyone who feels excluded or misrepresented or underrepresented is going to be coming to the surface to speak up and demand their rights. And we're going to see it in relationships, we're going to see it in politics, we're going to see it on the streets in December. There's going to be a lot of uprising, so get ready for that. And as we move into this Aquarian, we're reimagining the Aquarian age. It's not the Aquarian age or age of Aquarius as like biblical age of Aquarius, but it is an Aquarian time. That's what we're calling it, reimagined. You know, it's not the fifth dimension. It might be 5G dimension, actually. It might be a fifth dimension, like the song from the 60s. But we're reimagining how it plays out. It is about what's good for everyone in this new era. Of course, it still has that Aquarius signature of what's good for the community, how do we evolve the collective consciousness forward, and how do we get out of that individualist mindset of like, it's all about what I want, my own preferences, I don't care how it affects other people, let me just do what's good for me. I don't want to think about the repercussions of my actions. That isn't going to fly in 2021. It's just not going to fly anymore. And that's what we're being trained. We've had the preparation for that. So depending on how well we've done, how well Saturn's prepared us for that, hopefully we'll be able to gracefully move into a higher level of consciousness where we realize our actions impact a greater collective and that we're responsible for that, and that it's our dharma to do what's right for the greater cause and to be mindful about that. So that's my quick little intro to December 2020. I'll be back with a lot more detailed analysis, hopefully, and like I said, we'll talk about that eclipse in a separate video, the new moon solar eclipse. Okay, thanks so much for watching.